Good afternoon, everyone. Yes. Can you all see the screen? Oops, no, you can't. All right. How about now? No? Okay. Is it going to? No. There you go. Good. Now you can see, right? Okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nuritu, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the immune system, what it does, and also how is it benefited for us as well. So, what is immune system? When we say immune, what is it? So, when we look at it, it's the war within our body that fights some of the disease, some of the bacteria that are in our bodies. So the immune system does it's a war mechanism, and it's war machine that was working in our body, as I said. And this does not like to give up or does not negotiate with the bacteria in our bodies. And immune system in our body, it wants to kill or be killed. So when it kills the bacteria or that are in our bodies, what it's fighting, it's like in a war zone. So in a war, if you be killed, you are killed, and you are being overtaken with whatever you are fighting with. But if it kills, then it wins. So let us meet the enemies that is fighting with. What are the things that are the enemies in our body that our immune system wants us to fight with it? So some of them are bacteria, virus, yeast, staph, and also E. coli, and fungi, parasites, and some cancers also. So all this is being fighting with immunity when it gets in our body. So now let us see what are the armies, or what are the immunity are the army of the immunity. So some of them, we start with white blood cells. What are the white blood cells do in our body? They fight disease, that's right. So for example, when we get cut in our bodies or in our skin, what happens first? It bleeds, and then, yes, it gets thick.
The blood clots are scabs.
Yeah, that's right. So that blood clot, it begins with the white blood cells. The white blood cells coming into it that actually, like for example, it gets red. So that the white blood cells is like a detective. It detects in our bodies and goes around in our bodies and sees if there is anything that is unusual or that is being cut, or even like mosquito bites. What happens when the mosquitoes bite you? It's swollen and also get red and itchy. So that is being detected by the white blood cells. Then when that white blood cell sees and come to that place, most of our immunity, all of them actually works with the chemical reaction. They will see, they will connect to each other with a chemical reaction. So when the white blood cell sees and clots that area, and also when it gets bitten with something, when it gets red and swollen, then something else will get activated, which is the macrophage. So this macrophage, they will get to that place where the white blood cells were bringing the red flags. They will feel that chemical reaction from white blood cells, and then when they get there, they have like octopus hands. So when they get there, they will reach out with their arms, and then they will eat those things, bacteria or any bad things that they were fighting in, they would swallow it down. So now when they finish swallowing it down, they will go into in our lymph node. They will go into this macrophage first. They go into the lymph node, and as they go through the lymph nodes, they will meet another army, which is the T cells. So these T cells is being made in our lymph nodes, and it's being made. There are different T cells for different kind of bacteria and other things. So when they get connected with that one, the T cells goes into the battlefield or the areas where the disease is or where the cut is to fight those bacteria. And as they go, then again another cells get activated, which is the B cells. The B cells is like antibodies in our body. So the T cells goes out, clear out all the leftovers from the macrophage. Then the B cells goes out after it. Then start fighting it. After it finish and everything is cleared out, what happens? The B cells, most of them die after they finish, but some of them stay around to make a barrier in this area or to fight another bacteria if it comes. They are antibodies. They stay in our bodies as antibodies. So when you get the same bacteria, so you don't get affected as you did before, because they are already there to fight it off. So that's the job of the B cells. And as I said, the T cells, they will go out, but they will finish the job that is being done, and with the help of the B cells as well. So now, how can we boost our immunity, or how can we help this army of warrior in our body that we can't see? The way we can see is by looking after, the first thing is by looking after our gut, because most of the things we eat, we drink, it affects our immunity. So if we look after our gut, when you have a healthy gut, that will help enhance the immunity in your body as well. What you eat, some saying there is what you eat is what you become or what you are. So when and as you guys are experiencing here, going through fasting, Joy was explaining to you how fasting can help clearing out the dirty things that is staying there for years and can come out, or you can have like diarrheas or anything. So it's like clearing out all those things. When we have a clear gut, then our immunity gets stronger as well. So how can we get a clear or healthy gut? By eating the nutritious, balanced food. When we eat the balanced food, then our body also gets what it needs to fight for, and the energy to fight as well and to build as well. So how can we do this? By going plant-based diet. Yes, so the best way to increase our immunity is plant-based diet, and also having a well-balanced diet. Having like a low fat, rich in grains, and also fruit, nuts, and vegetables. So if we look at some graph here, we see the difference between those who eat mixed food or those who eat only the vegetables. You will see their immunity increases, and also the fighting against the disease is higher than those who eat mixed food. And there was a study done at school somewhere that they did give the mice a food for two mice has cancer cells in them, and some of them they feed them with any food, but the other one they have food restriction, only vegetables. So now you will see it here, 60% of them have a strong anti-cancer immunity, and also their growth is being suppressed and the survival is prolonged, those who eat the vegetables. So how much more for us? Yeah, so, and the other thing we should be aware of is being obese. The obesity, it does decrease our immunity, and also the neutrophage, like we were looking at before, the neutrophil, which one of the army of the immunity in our body that fights. And also decreases the ability to fight for different diseases as well. And some other thing that weakens our immunity is the sugar. So the sugar, what it does is it goes into macrophage and it paralyzes the macrophage that goes out like an octopus hand. It paralyzes so it does not go out and grab those bacteria and swallow it down. If it doesn't swallow, the chemical reaction will not go out to the other warriors like the T cells. They cannot come and fight. So we will be vulnerable to any bacteria. And the amount of sugar in this thing, the sugar from 1 can of soda pop can suppress your immune system for up to 6 full hours. That is just only one. For 6 hours, your immunity will be suppressed. But if we drink water, what happens? It will flush out all the toxins and also helps the blood to flow freely in our bodies and clears out as well. So this helps the toxin to come out when we drink a lot of water, as you guys been suggested to drink. Everyone has a bottle and being reminded what time to drink and how to drink as well. So that helps us to increase our immunity and the blood flows and also help us to detox. And another thing is exercise. Walking up the hill, down the hill, and also having some stretch here you guys have been doing, that also increases the T cells, which are, the T cells do what? What is their job? Kill. That's right. So they are the killers. So they go out and kill. And also it increases the white blood cells. What is the job of the white blood cells? Yes, so they are detectors. They are the one who call the other ones also, like help them to be aware of what's happening in our body. And the white blood cells, they are in the blood cells. So the blood cells, wherever the blood flows, clearly and freely flows, then you will get stronger as well. So the exercise helps, and also drinking water. And another thing is sunshine. You guys been going through, but I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm just pointing out some of them. The sunshine, so increases the neutrophil number and also the T cells, and also increases, stimulates the phagocyte cells. Yes, so it stimulates those things. So when we go out exercise in the sun, having fresh air and also exercising, drinking water, what are we doing? We are helping our immunity to fight any disease or any problem that is in our body. And what else can we do? Having temperance in bad stuff, staying away, abstaining from harmful stuff, and also being moderate, using properly. That is, for example, exercise activity, not to overuse our body, not to over-exercise, but also not to oversleep. Oversleeping is sometimes is not good, even though the sleep is, I will get to that as well. The sleep, actually, I can talk now, but a slide is in the other one. But the sleeping is very important for our immunity. So if I just say, if we don't sleep 3 hours before, just let me open it before instead of saying it, if that's okay. Just give me a moment. So just talking about the sleep. Yeah. So sleeping. If you want to have a strong immunity, what time do we have to sleep? 9 hours. So 3 or 2 hours before the midnight. So what happens if we don't sleep before the midnight? What happened? 3 hours before, if we miss out those 3 hours, then our immunity will cut in half. The strength of our immunity will cut in half. So now you guys are exercising or practicing to sleep 9 o'clock sharp. is when the light goes off, right? So that you are strengthening and you are exercising to have your immunity and recovery. And also, as Joy was sharing yesterday, it will regenerate or strengthen our immunity, or also regenerate our bodies when it's recovering time. It's those 3 hours. When we miss out, those recovery hours is being missed out, and we can't really have that strength of our immunity as well. And our body has actually the cycle of sleep. You can see it here. What time, like when you have a midnight is the deepest sleep, and then early in the morning is when the temperature is rising. But if you see it, the PM somewhere down here, yes, here 9 o'clock, you will see it here. The melatonin secretion starts. What time? 9 o'clock. So that's when the best time to sleep, because the melatonin is the one you need for restful. And if we follow the cycle of the clock in our body, and also the sun, sometimes in Melbourne it's not the sun, sometimes goes down at 9 o'clock, which you can't really follow it. But at the same time, your body has the clock that it goes, if you follow this clock that you are been doing, then your body goes through the recycling of recovery. If we don't sleep on time, what happens? Okay, that's when you have. So let me open when you don't have. So what happens if we don't sleep on time? Our judgment and concentration are impaired. And also here, the reaction time is slow and more accident occurs. That's right. And here also, releases of more appetite stimulating hormones that can consequently result in weight gain. Immune system is suppressed and increased risk of illness. Emotions are heightened, caused irritability, anger, and anxiety. Those who work night shift, without their sleeping, if you ask them to do something, or if you go and ask them something, what happens most of the time? Yes, they get upset. Why? Because they haven't had this sleep, and they didn't have enough sleep, and so that causes irritability. And so poor sleeping, sorry, this is a bit blurry, but increases diabetic, cancer, obesity, and also heart disease. So when we have a poor sleep, but if we sleep on time, then we can reduce all these illnesses. And another thing that is, especially for the women, if we sleep late or if, less sleep, what happens? Women sleeping 5 hours or less are 70% more likely to get pneumonia. So we are more open to the disease. So what can we do to inhibit or to stop those things? First thing, reduce using the blue light at night, and also turn it off as much as possible, at least 1 or 2 hours before you sleep. Then you get to your brain will start shutting down. The blue light prevents from your sleep. And let me go back to the other slide, sorry. So that was the sleep and also the diet we went through. And another thing is to avoid what? The caffeine. That is, it stops you from your sleeping, and also reduces your immune system to fight against the disease. Having a good oxygen will help. Having deep breath that you guys were doing like now, maintaining a good posture, wearing a clothes that covers long sleeve and those things. Why? Because if we leave our limbs out, the blood circulation, when it's too cold, it gets too restricted. And also when it's going back to the heart, it's too cold and to warm up, and sometimes it can cause a problem. But having the warm, long sleeve or covered clothes will help to for the blood flows to go through in our bodies properly. So yes, we went through the sleep. So this is the rapid eye movement sleep, is when the brain housekeeper activities assumed primarily importance. So this is the early sleep, like those 2 hours or 3 hours before the midnight. So that is very important because you are keeping, they are shutting down all the files that are in our bodies and recovering the bodies as well, as we said. All right. Oh, I have it on this slide as well. I thought I didn't. Okay, that's good. So we went through the sleep, and also avoiding the stress. When we get stressed, our immunity does go down as well, and having high anxiety, all those things. How can we avoid this thing? Having too much anxieties or stress, giving it all to God through prayer. And the Lord says in Exodus chapter 15, verse 6, it says, could someone read it for me? Who wants to? Yeah?
It said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and wilt give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth. Exodus 15, verse 26.
Amen. So God has promised us to give us a good health, and also promised us, I will in no way put these diseases. But if you do what? If you do what?
Diligently hearken.
Diligently hearken unto my voice. The Lord is telling us our body, like the car, when you look after the car, can you put some different things, different fuel or different car? No, you give them the right thing. So when we give the right thing to our bodies, then our body knows how to deal with the disease or any other things that are out there. And also God has promised us that he will not put any of these disease if we diligently obey or hearken into his voice. And another thing, the barrier or the work mechanism is our skin. We should look after our skin, and not only washing, and also our face, especially if we do some kind of mask or what is it called? Is it mask? Putting powders in our bodies. Yeah, the makeup, that's the name I'm looking for. So that closes the pores of our skin, so it stops our skin from breathing and also coming out the toxin. Instead of that, what it does, it blocks, and also it takes the toxin from those makeup or from those chemicals that we put in our bodies. And so that reduces our immunity because it's not the pores is not open to detox or to clarify, to clear our bodies. And also taking the chemicals in. And also here, as I said before, having long sleeve and covering, especially in a cold time. So that's how, if we look after our skin, then the body can also do the job that needs to be done, which is the cleansing and detoxing, and increase the immune system. So fast for the meal or two. But you guys are fasting for 3 days. So this is how we can increase our immunity, by fasting. Or even when we go back home, we may fall into something that we shouldn't do, or which we shouldn't, our body not appreciating. What we can do, just skip 1 or 2 meals and restart your body, and so you can start, not to give up easily, but to get up and also restart again. So the fasting helps us, our immunity, to start. Taking a charcoal, doing hydrotherapy, and I'm not sure, I don't think we've done it here, but hydrotherapy, it's water treatments, which is you can do bath, a foot bath or the whole bath for different reasons. If you, for example, have a headache, you can have a hot foot bath in your foot, and so that reduces the blood from your brain, that from your head, pulls down to the leg. So the head that is too much blood in your head can go down, then your headache also goes down. So when we do also hot and cold, increases our immunity. When we are having shower, it's the best time to do hot and cold to increase our immunity. So you can start with hot and cold and then finish it always with cold, because you want to close those pores so you don't lose a lot of heat. So yeah, taking extra rest. So resting, as you guys were saying, resting in body and also resting in physical, spiritual, and mentally as well. Resting in God and also resting physically also is necessary for our immunity, and also resting in God, putting our stress, our worry, or our anxieties into God's hands and resting it in Him can help us. And some other herbs that could taken as a medicine as well. So I'll go through quickly. So these are the herbs that could, especially if you are sick or if you need some kind of tea, could help these ones as well to increase the immunity. Fresh garlic and turmeric, cane pepper, and manuka honeys. These are the things that you could use, for example, when you are having flus, to strengthen or to support your immunity to fight against those things. Garlic is another thing, which is you have to be really careful with it when you're taking garlic, because it is medicine. It's not really like a herbal thing. So if you overuse it, it can actually kill someone. For example, if I take more than 1 clove, or if I take 2, it will start burning me and I can faint. And it's different from people to people. So it's you have to be really careful, and also you can put it on your foot, like with oil, not by itself. If you do it by itself, it can burn you as well. So you have to really careful, and also with lemon. Yes. Or you grate it and then mix it with oil, and then you can put it in your socks and wear it. So that's if you're having headache.
Like a patch.
Yeah, like a patch. Yeah, it's really medicine. Garlic, it's a medicine. It's not something that you can just ingest it. And also you can cook it. You can cook it with food. That is the best way to ingest. And also, yes?
How about cooking with garlic daily? Is that?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, as long as it's cooked, as long as you're not ingesting it by itself. And so, yeah. Hydrotherapy, as I was saying, having a foot bath or tub bath. And these are... different ways of you can increase your immunity, that it helps your immunity to increase, improve your immunity. So, yeah. Any other question or suggestion that you wanted to ask anyone?
How about garlic? Sometimes some people just eat little bit.
Yeah, you can. You can, but I'm just saying it. Don't use it. Yeah, don't use it too much of it, because when it's too much, as I say, 1 clove or 2, that's fine. But sometimes 2 can be also too much. But you have to have it with something so it won't be too much. Yeah, that's the way of increasing our immunity. And sorry, I wanted to get to, where is it? Yeah, so also here God says when we are sick, what do we have to do? Ask. And the Lord, and the prayer of the faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall rise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. So when we do something wrong, and having those guilt in our mind can decrease our immunities as well. But when we confess and also forgive and come before God, God will forgive us, and we can be free as well from those things. And God also promised us to give us a good health. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy path. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Proverbs 3, 5-8. So when we trust in God, God also promised us to give us a good health. The last one, as we read before, he promised us, I will put none of this disease upon you. So what we have to do, if we diligently hearken into his voice, whatever we heard and learn, when we put it into practice and exercise it, and the promise is us, God also promised us that he will not put none of these diseases. And even if we have the diseases when we come before him, he will in no way cast us out, but also will always answer our questions and heal us as well. Thank you very much.
How do you properly do hot and cold? Do you shower with a hot shower and then?
Yeah, and then cold. Yeah.
It takes the breath away.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but
So how long do you run the how long are you in?
3 and 1.
Huh?
I think 3 seconds and
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
To 1 minute.
Yeah, to 1 minute. 1 minute cold and 3 minutes hot.
Start with hot
Yeah.
and always end with cold.
So you can do it 3 times and then I still finish it with cold 1 minute. And yeah, always finishing with cold, hot and cold. Yeah.
Are there any
How many have done a cold shower? Yes.
Sorry, 1% at a time. Sorry.
Are there any
Contraindication.
Yeah, for the hot and cold?
Yes, especially for those who has high blood pressure, I need to really careful for having hot and cold. You need to be monitored with someone. If you're doing it by yourself, it's very, very dangerous. Yeah. Why? Because your blood will go up when you're putting the hot and cold. You're bringing the blood high, and then again you bring it down. And then the next time you put a hot water, it goes higher than before. And the more it goes higher, you might get dizzy and faint. But you can do it on your foot. Yeah, you can do it on your foot. You don't have to stand in the shower and do it.
Say that again.
Hot and cold, or hot first and cold later?
Yeah, cold later. So you always start with hot and then cold, 1 minute, 3 minutes another hot, and then cold.
Hot.
Hot you can handle.
Okay.
Yes.
You mean I can just use my legs, my feet for that?
Yes, but always cover your top part so it's
So
nice
I don't
and warm.
have to have the cold over me.
No. Yeah. You can still have it when you have a high blood pressure. Yes.
So what's a quick remedy of preventing passing out while you're doing the...
Sorry, can you say it again?
What's a quick remedy of preventing passing out while you're doing the hot and cold treatment if you've got high blood pressure?
Oh, you better quickly sit down.
Okay.
And yeah, you just have to wait because you're fainting out already. If you have water with you, just drink that water and quickly sit down. But do not do it if you have a high blood pressure. Yeah. But if you end up doing it, sometimes it will be too much for you while you're sitting down. The body is already rushing and then you might fall before you even sit down. So it's better to do the foot bath. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Any other question? Okay.
Can you put cold water on as well? Like, as well as sitting down, like just put it straight onto the cold?
What do you mean by that?
Like, if you are going to pass out and that can be too quick, too slow in reaching for it.
Yeah, opening cold water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can help as well. But yeah, quickly opening it if you can, and also sitting down and drink water. Always have the water bottle with you. Yeah, but try to avoid to do if you have a high blood pressure. Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
And yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
What's the fruit of the dinner?
Done.
And
That's a
I just opened both.
That's a
Half half.